Hi guys, I'm Iulia and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm gonna talk to you a bit about the living costs in Manchester for students and not only. So if you're interested in this subject, then keep on watching. Number one, let's talk about
sex, baby.
accommodation. If you decide to study somewhere in the south, in London for example, it's gonna be more pricey than here in north, in Manchester for example. In today's video, I'm gonna focus on Manchester because I've been living here now for 5 years and I've been through all this process, so I kind of know how much thing costs. So I'm gonna share them with you, but yeah, just so you know, it's gonna be quite a bit of a difference between the prices here in Manchester and the ones in London, for example. So, accommodation. If you decide to live in halls, according to Universities of Manchester website, it costs about £129 per week, which is a bit more pricey if you ask me, but it obviously depends on your budget. If you want to be a bit more on a budget, you can live off campus and it's a bit cheaper, obviously. One room in shared accommodation in south of Manchester, it costs about £320 a month with bills included. This is the cheapest one that I could find just a few minutes ago when I had a look on their website. But obviously the prices can go higher if you decide to live in city center where everything is more expensive. But students usually tend to live in the south of Manchester while they are studying here at university. If you're interested in renting the whole flat, the prices can be higher, obviously. The cheapest one that I could find is £550, and this one is not in city center. It's again a bit outside of Manchester, 10 minutes by bus or something like that. And then if you want to live in city center, prices are higher and it's gonna be above 650 for sure, 700 above that price. So yeah. And above that, if you decide to live in a flat by yourself or if you're sharing with someone, I just did a bit of calculations and I saw that for 2 people we are paying in our flat, this is a 2-bedroom flat, we are paying around £100 per month for bills and utilities. So that's a bit pricey, so you have to consider this on top of your rent if you're considering renting a whole apartment. Okay, number 3, let's talk about food. So again, according to Universities of Manchester website, they say that students in average pay £38 per week for food. From my experience, but I share my living costs, it costs me around £30 per week per person for food, sometimes less if we carefully plan our meals for the next week. If we don't plan our meals, then it can be more pricey for that week because we keep on buying everything and it's just a mess, and it gets quite a lot and quite pricey. If you want to eat out, if you're asking me, it depends on the place, obviously, but for 2 people eating out, it's around £30 on average for a meal and a drink. Number 4, transport. Okay, so now you can either take the bus. If you're living in the south of Manchester and you have to commute, you will probably have to take the bus. And for students, the bus pass is £8 per week. If you're not a student, it is £16 per week, which is a bit more pricey. Also, you can buy a bus rider for a whole year and that's around £200. A day pass in Manchester costs £4.50, but with this day pass you can travel everywhere, you can take whatever bus you want around the city. Of course, there is always another way of moving around the city, and that's cycling. You can buy a really nice second-hand bike for like £80. This is how much mine was, and it's a really nice bike and it's quite easy to get around Manchester by bike. So yeah, this is a good way of transportation, why not? Okay, the next one, let's talk a bit about going out. So I had to do a bit of research about this one because I'm not the going out type that much, so I had to do a research. So according to Loving Manchester website, there is a new study that they did, and they say that in average people spend around £116 per night out. And if you ask me, that's crazy. That's so much money, isn't it? So basically people pay so much for food, drinks, entry fees, transport, and yeah, that's about it. But if you ask me, a drink, it's around 3-4 pounds. In average, it depends, obviously. So 2 drinks, let's say 6-8 pounds. So I usually spend around 10 pounds if I go out, and that's about it. But yeah, it depends how much you like to party. Okay, the next one, phone. In average, people pay around 10 pounds for their phone bill, at least. For data and minutes, I pay 5 pounds for 500 megabytes and a few minutes and text. It's not a lot, but to be honest with you, I'm not spending it, not even that. So yeah, it depends how much you use your phone and your data, and yeah. Next one, if you decide to go to the gym, for example, a membership with Pure Gym is around 16 pounds. If you decide to go at Aquatic Center, which works with the University of Manchester, I think they have some passes for students, and you can pay like £200 and you can go for 12 months. And if you want to pay monthly, it's around £25. If you don't want to pay that much money for the gym, you can join societies as well, and I believe that you have some free classes and fitness classes and yoga and things like that, but you have to look into that if you want to find something for free. Next one, university expenses. According to Universities of Manchester website, they say that you spend in average £50 for books, photocopying, all sorts of things, but they include mobile phone here and other things. I can say that people who don't study architecture, they spend less money. For example, you have to buy some books maybe at the beginning of the year, and that's gonna cost you a bit, but then after that you don't have to spend any other money. Maybe you have to photocopy some files or print something, but that is so little that it doesn't even count. If you study architecture, it's gonna be pricier. You have to pay for model making materials, and that's at least £100 per model. You have to pay for books, sketchbooks, pens, pencils, all those things, and that tends to be quite expensive because you don't want to get the cheapest sketchbooks and pens and pencils because everything is gonna look like shit, and you cannot buy the cheapest ones. You have to buy quite nice ones, so it gets quite pricey and quite expensive. I couldn't tell you an exact price, but it is quite a lot if you're studying architecture. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please let me know in the comments down below how much you spent during a month here in Manchester or UK or anywhere else in this world. I'm just curious to find out how much everyone spends, if they are a student or not necessarily a student, it doesn't matter. Let's see. And yeah, thank you so much for watching. If you enjoy what I'm doing and these types of videos, please don't forget to like, share, subscribe to my channel, comment in this video. It helped me so much. I always love to hear from you. So thank you for watching and see you next time. Bye.